Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. It's that time of the week where I go over my college football predictions, but instead of top 10 games of the week, because there's not even 10 games playing this week, it's the conference championship weekend edition. So let's get started with the conference style games that are on Friday. You get the Conference USA Championship game, which will be between Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State, who are 5-point favorites. 7 p.m. CBS Sports Network game. These two teams just played actually a close game against each other this past week at Western Kentucky. Jacksonville State nearly lost, but they were already confirmed to be in this title game, so they didn't need to play for anything versus Western Kentucky, where they needed to win this game in order to make the title game. Um, since Jacksonville State has been really good in conference play, and they're hosting this title game at Jacksonville State, I'll take Jacksonville State to win the title in the second year of being in this conference. I had them winning 23-17. Next, you got the Mountain West Championship game between 20 UNLV and 10 Boise State, or 4-point favorites, primetime 8 p.m. Fox game. This game is usually on a Saturday, but smart for them to move up to Friday, now that the Pac-12 is no more right now. This is the only group of 5 title game with 2 ranked teams against each other, and the winner of this game makes the playoffs. These two teams play against each other already in Vegas back in October, and the Broncos won easily. Vegas could not stop Heisman contender Ashton Jeanty, and the Rebels made too many critical mistakes. Maybe they have learned their lesson for the first matchup. However, it's really hard for a warm weather team to travel to the freezing cold and play on the famous blue turf. I think the Broncos get the big win and make the playoffs. And therefore, if they stay in the spot they're at, then they're going to get a first round bye as well, which is crazy to think. But I have them winning 34-23. Next, you got the American Conference Championship game. You got Tulane for 5-point favorites versus 24 Army, primetime ABC game. This game is pretty interesting. Tulane had a chance for the playoffs. It's like if they can jump a Big 12 team, which I didn't think they were going to, but there's a slight possibility, but now it's out of the question with 3 losses. But if they can still win the American Conference Championship game, that's still a good season for them in year 1 with a new head coach. For Army, they host this title game being the year 1 in this conference. They can come in and claim they're the best. Tulane should play better since they were bad last week. But I'll take the Army bandwagon here, and they'll barely get the win. I have them winning 20-19. Next, on Saturday, get the MAC championship game between Ohio and Miami of Ohio, our 1-point favorites, a new ESPN game. The battle of the Ohio schools. Miami, Ohio was in the spot last season, and they won the conference championship game. Can they go back to back? I think they can, but their good defense will have to go against one of the best offenses in the conference. Miami, Ohio won't win this game based on good defense alone, so they'll need to do just enough on offense to win this game, and I think they can do just enough. So either win 24-21. Next, you get the Big 12 championship game, a noon ABC game between 16 Iowa State and 15 Arizona State, or 2-point favorites. No one expected this title game matchup in the preseason, but it's why the Big 12 is awesome. It's why we play the games. Despite a 4-way tie, Iowa State gets in based on opponent's win percentage, which if you're a BYU or Colorado fan, stinks since the conference is the one that created the schedule, but, they have their chances. Anyway, I can see why Arizona State could win this game. They have the best running back in the league, Cam Skattebo, and quarterback Sinla has wheels of his own. He's been playing very well. Plus, Iowa State is a bottom tier rush defense in the Big 12. I can also see, though, why Iowa State wins this game. They still give up, a bunch of rush yards to the quarterback, which is an issue. But over the last few games of the season, they have contained very good running backs in the Big 12, like Micah Bernard and DJ Giddens from Kansas State. So if they turn the corner, then that's going to help them a lot. Also, on a more important note, is that Sun Devils' best receiver, Jordan Tyson, left last week's game to arm sling and is basically out. So if the Cyclones can force Arizona State to pass more, instead of just letting them run the ball down the throats, then that's going to be very hard for Arizona State to overcome. Then for Iowa State's offense, they just need to play clean football. If they do, then Iowa State has the playmakers to move the ball against Arizona State's defense, which is hit and miss. So therefore, I've been going back and forth in this game, but I'll take the Cyclones to get the win here and punch their ticket to the playoff. I have them winning 24-20. in Arlington there. And then next you get the SEC championship game, which is 5 Georgia versus 2 Texas, or 2.5-point favorites, 4 p.m. ABC game. A rematch from October where Texas looked like they weren't ready for SEC football. Has Texas learned its lesson from the last game, and are they ready for Georgia? If Texas doesn't commit any turnovers, unlike last time, then they're actually the better team. The Longhorns' offensive line was awful in the last matchup, and that must be fixed in this game. The problem is, I'm not sure what adjustments the offensive line can make to be better in this game. I think this is a game where Texas should win, but Georgia finds a way once again to come out on top and get a very much needed bye for the first round of the playoffs. I have Georgia winning 28-23. Next, you got the Sun Belt Championship with Marshall versus Louisiana, who are 6-point favorites. Primetime ESPN game, 7:30. Back when Marshall first joined the conference, I expected this top matchup at some point, and now it's finally here. I thought Louisiana would win this game easily, but they have not been playing their sharpest football in the last 3 weeks of the season. Even though Marshall's coming in with momentum, since this game is on Louisiana's home turf, I'll take the Raging Cajuns to get the win here. I have the win 26-24. Next, you got the ACC Championship with 17 Clemson versus 8 SMU, or 2.5-point favorites, primetime ABC game. Despite Clemson once again proving they're a little overrated by losing to South Carolina, they could quiet the doubters and win the conference to get the automatic spot in the playoffs. However, that would require a mistake-free game. SMU is one of those teams that makes you pay for committing mistakes. The interesting battle is Clemson's defense against a dynamic SMU offense. Clemson's defensive line could cause problems for SMU's offensive line, but if the line can protect long enough, Mustangs quarterback Kevin Jennings can do enough to get the ball to his playmakers. I'll take SMU to barely get the win and officially get the playoff spot, since there's no guarantee with the loss that they get in the playoffs. I'm either winning 21-19. Last but not least, you got 3 Penn State versus number 1 Oregon, or 3.5-point favorites in the Big Ten championship game, primetime CBS. Penn State finally makes the Big Ten title game. The bad news is I don't trust them to win this game for nothing, because they didn't win the big games. Oregon's defense should be able to contain Penn State's offense like Ohio State did back in October when those two teams faced. Penn State's defense can do some things to slow down Oregon's offense, but but to me, Oregon's offense has just too much firepower to be slowed down enough to where Penn State can overtake them. Therefore, I'll take the Ducks to keep their undefeated season going and officially be the 1 overall seed in the playoffs. I have them winning 23-16. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel and tell about me. On late Saturday night after the game's over, I'll come out with my final playoff predictions of what the committee's going to do. And then later on next week, I'll come out with my bowl predictions and all that, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day.